Hello, everybody. Another great morning. I wanted to talk about today my first CD that I ever owned, or the first uh, CD that I ever listened to all the way through as a child, and that was Bob Marley. I'm not really sure what the name of the CD, but it was a Bob Marley CD. That was my very first um, CD that I listened to all the way through, and it was in California, and it was at my grandmother's house at the time, and I was just in her room, and I saw she had a CD player, and so I was looking through her CDs, and this. I saw Bob Marley on the front of the CD, and I thought that he looked pretty cool, and so I was like, oh, maybe I'll listen to this, and so yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I listened to every song on there. It had like "No Woman, No Cry," uh, a Three Little Birds song. It had "Buffalo Soldier." It had all the greats, and it was like a great a great a great way to get introduced to music. Obviously, I'd listened to music before, but a great way to experience listening to my first CD. And I think my grandma let me have the CD when I left too, so that was cool. And there's I wanted to talk about like the different emotions that you get with different musics, different types of music, and I currently listen to mostly metal music, like hard rock, and just because I love the emotions that I get, the aggression, and it gets me the distortion gets me all pumped up, and uh, I it's just I like emotional music, and I liked Bob Marley because it was so peaceful back then, and but I remember the first time I ever listened to metal, I was like, holy shit, what is this? The first time I ever listened to hardcore metal, my dad gave me this CD, and we're in the car, and I'm listening to it was Trivium at the time, the band, and he gave me the CD afterwards, but uh, it's like I fucking love this shit, and I got to headbang with my dad, so that was a good moment. And I fell in love with Trivium at that point. But I used to listen to music before I go to bed all the time. Even to this day, I'll put earbuds in and I'll listen to music before bed. I'm trying to break the habit because I hurt my ear a couple of times just because leaning on my ear with the earbuds in, so I hurt my ear, and I was like, maybe I should just try going without listening to music before bed and see how it works out. But I used to have the CD player, and I would play Trivium, Ember to Inferno, their first CD, on repeat. I used to just have the CD player on repeat, and it would just play the same CD over and over and over and over, and I'd fall asleep to it. And sometimes I would sleep on the floor just so I could be uh, closer to the stereo, with my ear like right up against the stereo, so I could really listen to it before bed. I was obsessed, and so that's kind of my relation to music. I've always had an emotional response, and I've listened to a few concerts. I've been to a Trivium concert a couple of times, and I loved it. The mosh pits are kind of intimidating, but I really like listening to them live. It's kind of I've always got a kick out of watching people get knocked out of mosh pits. That's funny to me. But I I've always had a deep relation to all kinds of music. I listen to classical, like classical music and classical piano. I like I like all types of music. So let me know in the comments what was your first CD you ever owned, and what your relation to music and what music has meant to you in your life. So peace.